You're listening to Amazing Radio. This is Amazing Afternoons. I'm delighted to say that Lorena and Alberto, Lorelle meets Obsolete, are on the line with me here ahead of their UK tour. You're in the UK now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. We're in Manchester this morning.
Right. Exciting things are ahead because you're going to be playing Glasgow tonight, I believe, and then Newcastle tomorrow. You've got London, Bristol, Birkenhead, Falmouth, and Ramsgate. When was the last time you were in the UK?
Yeah, 2019. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, and will you be visiting some of these cities for the first time?
Yes, Ramsgate. We're playing there for the first time. Birkenhead.
Yes.
And I think that's it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. We're
Well,
excited about them.
Yeah, you should be excited because a lot of people are excited to see you. You released a brilliant record this year as well, which we've been enjoying here at Amazing Radio, and most recently as well, you just released that remix EP as well, which is great. And I played out the one of the remixes on my show on Friday's show, but I wanted to ask you, how does it work? Do you approach people and say, hey, fancy doing a remix of one of our tracks, or does the record label help out, or how does it work?
Well, it was a combination of both things, and we had some bands in mind, and we approached them, and then Nat from the label, he also suggested some other, and that's how it came out.
Yeah, and are you quite okay and not precious about the song? Do you hand it over and say, do what you want with it, make it sound completely different?
Yes, totally. That's what makes it so excited.
Yeah. I bet it is exciting when you receive it back and you put it on, you have no expectations, and then you press play and you're like, what have they done?
It's like, I think it's like they are producing the song. That's how the song would sound if they would produce it, right? And it's interesting.
Yeah. It's amazing to just because like we've been listening to these songs for so long now, maybe more than a year. So we are so used to listening to the songs in certain way, and when we received the remixes, it was like just completely different thing. It's amazing. It's a really fun thing to do. In the past, we were not so used to do this kind of things, the remixes, but we've been into this for a while now, and it's amazing. It's like another side of making music and of being in a band.
Yeah, and I think your last album, in particular, the last couple of singles, they're quite far out there in terms of your sound. I think you're really pushing your singles in particular, and I think that then people could then take it onto a remix to take it to another level. It says a lot about your music. I wanted to ask about the record. Was it the same approach and process as the previous albums, or was it slightly different? And if so, how?
Yeah, it's always different. We try to, because it's only the two of us, we try to make every process different, and this was definitely different from the last one because this time we had like the last record we were doing everything together. We didn't wrote songs separately. We were all the time jamming, and this time we had some sketches or demos, separately. We work with some parts, and then we put it together like the best ideas of each other, and it was very easy. It was fast in a way, right?
Also because I think the last time that we worked together properly on an album was maybe 2017, something like that, for the De Facto album. So when we started to work again together, like it was like there were so many ideas that we had in the back of our mind, so it was so easy to put it together. And also this time we limited ourselves. We self-imposed some limitations in terms of what so yeah, I mean, I think that triggered a lot of the creative process around the album. And because in the past we would just do whatever we had in mind, like we just were going crazy with overdubs, and then we realized that like taking the songs to the live situation, it was always difficult because you have to pick up the right sounds,
Yes.
to yeah, to make the song sound as it is,
or to have more musicians. Which
yeah,
is
exactly,
always needed.
yeah,
So this time it's like we're just writing for 4 instruments and that's it.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess in that case then, Lorena, does the structure and the bare elements of the song become more important? Because you mentioned there, Alberto, about the overdubs, but I guess a good track and an interesting song will always have the right foundations, and that
Yes.
it's not to put too much on top. And you mentioned putting limitations. I guess deadlines are very important as well if you're self-producing, because you can just no one's going to say stop, are they? So you impose that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. And you came out with this great record. You're going to be touring around the UK, and then a North American tour as well. Is that right?
Yeah. We have like 10 dates around the West Coast mainly, and we're playing this festival, the Levitation, and should be fun. We are excited. Yeah, it's it will be nice.
It's so cool. What is the live setup then with you two? Then, what kind of equipment have you got? And I guess it must be hard because traveling internationally, you're quite limited as well as to what you can get in your suitcase.
Oh yeah, it's always it's such an adventure to make it work, like like to weigh everything before taking the flight and making the right combination. But I think we got it sorted, and we I mean, Lorena and me mostly play keyboards and guitars, and we have Fernando Nuti on bass and Andrea Davi on drums. So it's a very minimal setup now, and so yeah, that's how we're doing it now.
Oh, it's so good, and I'd recommend anyone to get along to the show. But I mean, we've been playing your music. I said just before we started recording, I feel like I've been playing your music. I had to check this out. I think it's almost 10 years I've been playing your music here at Amazing Radio. So we played everything, and I guess a lot of that comes from Nat as well. Your label, Sonic Cathedral. He has such a great ear for these things internationally. And he has almost created a whole genre in the UK himself, or keeping the shoegaze kind of thing going. He's such a great guy. He's Sonic Cathedral are a great and an important label to you, aren't they?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's been, I mean, as you said, we've been working with him for 10 years now. And in fact, like, it was 10 years ago that we got to meet him in person, and he's been such an important role for us because he in a way he gave us structure and order in the way we work. I mean, outside of music, like meeting with the conditions for our release, like the proper conditions, how to release the singles and the videos and all that. Before him, I mean, we were just working, like without any particular order. And yeah, I mean, he's so professional, like and he's so easygoing. It's like a really good relationship, the one that we have with him, and we're like super lucky to be working with him.
Yeah, and he has a good roster of bands as well, which you are part of as well, which is so cool. Which is so cool. And he's one of the good guys, as are you. Thanks so much for taking the time to speak to us here. And yeah, it's been a pleasure to speak to you. And good luck with the tour. And keep in touch, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.